Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're taking something that usually gives folks a huge headache, BI data modeling, and we're completely demystifying it. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to structure your data like an absolute pro. Let's get right into it.
So, let me ask you a quick question. What do you do with chaotic data? I mean, we've all been there, right? You open up a file and it's just a massive, tangled mess. Row 50 is a sale, row 51 is a customer's email, and row 52 is just some random date, all piled into one chaotic spreadsheet. How do you even begin to make sense of all that?
Okay, let's dive into this. The ultimate solution to that absolute chaos is data modeling. At its core, data modeling is simply a structure that describes your business data and how all the different pieces logically relate to each other. It's basically the essential blueprint that turns a complete mess into a total masterpiece.
Here's our quick roadmap for this explainer so you know exactly where we're headed. First up, we're taming the data chaos. Second, the core components of a model. Third, facts versus dimensions. Fourth, the mighty star schema. And finally, Snowflake and Galaxy schemas.
Section 1. Taming the data chaos. Why exactly do we model data?
Well, we never just split raw data up randomly, right? We always have a deliberate plan. And there are two primary reasons we reshape our data. First, we organize for the business. This means splitting that chaotic data into clear, logical objects, putting all the sales data in one bucket, all the products in another, and so on. Second, we optimize for the tool. We really want to shape the data so that business intelligence tools like Power BI can read it super efficiently and give us lightning-fast performance.
Moving on to Section 2, Core Components of a Model. The Rule of 3.
This is where we break data modeling down to its absolute atomic level. Let's move to Synaptris and see how this builds. You see, any good data model relies on this rule of 3. Step 1, tables. These are used to actually store your raw data. Step 2, relationships. These are the rules used to connect those tables together so they can actually talk to each other. And Step 3, calculations. These are what we use to answer actual business questions using formula languages like DAX, which, by the way, is the powerhouse engine behind tools like Power BI. A model isn't just one single object. It's really these three components working together in perfect harmony.
Section 3. Facts versus dimensions, the yin and the yang of analytical data.
This is frankly the single most critical modeling technique you need to grasp for building analytical reports. Now, what's really interesting about this comparison is the stark dichotomy between our two main types of tables. On one side, we have fact tables. These record exactly what happened. Their core focus is entirely on dates and numbers. And on the flip side, we have dimension tables. These describe what happened. Their core focus is all about context and labels.
Let's actually break down the anatomy of a fact table so you know exactly how to spot one out in the wild. A fact table records a specific event, like a business transaction or a sale. It contains IDs that link out to other tables. It includes date and time information so you know exactly when the event happened. And crucially, it holds the raw numbers you want to calculate, things like the total quantity of coffee cups sold or your bottom line profit. Basically, if you're looking at raw business activity in numbers, you are definitely looking at a fact table.
Conversely, let's take a look at the anatomy of a dimension table. Dimensions are all about context. A dimension table describes a single business object, like a product or a customer. It contains descriptive attributes, think category, brand, or color. It essentially answers the who, what, where, and when of your data. And this is absolutely crucial for data filtering and grouping. Whenever you want to, say, slice your sales numbers by a specific product category, you're relying on a dimension table to do it.
Section 4. The mighty star schema, our ideal state.
So now we take those individual facts and dimensions we just talked about and connect them into our first major architecture. A star schema features a central fact table surrounded by connected dimension tables. When you map it out conceptually, it literally forms the shape of a star. You put your hard numbers, your sales facts, right in the middle, and your context, your products, customers, and dates, radiates outward from that center.
You should honestly always shoot for the stars, because tools like Power BI and Tableau absolutely love the star schema. Why? Well, first, it provides an incredibly clean, automatic way to filter your data. The dimensions just seamlessly filter down into the central facts. Second, it makes DAX calculations super simple to write because the model structure does all the heavy lifting for you. And third, it creates a very easy mental model for you when you're actually building visuals. Need a number? You just go to the center. Need a label to group by? You pull from the star's points. It really is that straightforward.
Section 5, Snowflake and Galaxy schemas, expanding the universe.
Sometimes a standard star just isn't quite enough. Imagine this scenario for a moment. What happens when your dimension table gets too big? Let's say your central product table just keeps growing and growing, adding more rows and more descriptive columns over time until it's just this absolute behemoth. How would you handle that?
Well, the answer is the Snowflake schema. This architecture happens when a very large dimension is split, or normalized, if we're using the technical term, into multiple connected dimensions, extending outward just like a snowflake. So instead of having one gigantic product table, you might split it into a product table and a totally separate category table and link them together.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core trade-offs we're making. The star schema is beautifully simple and boasts really fast performance, but it can sometimes result in a larger file size. The Snowflake schema, on the other hand, is definitely more complex and can actually be slower because the tool has to jump through more connections to reach the central fact table. However, it significantly reduces your overall model size. So generally speaking, stick to the star unless you desperately need to shrink a massively oversized file.
But wait, what if your problem isn't a massive dimension, but rather having way too many facts? Enter the Galaxy schema. This is a really robust architecture where multiple fact tables, like say having one for sales and a totally separate one for budget, share the exact same dimension tables. When one single fact table just isn't enough to serve a massive, complex dashboard, you build a galaxy.
So the crucial point is this critical rule. Never, ever connect fact tables directly to each other. If you do that, the BI tool gets totally confused and creates massive calculation errors. Fact tables must always connect to each other through a shared dimension table. Keep that rule in mind and you'll build your galaxies correctly every single time.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's do a really quick terminology check. Depending on who you talk to or what software update just dropped, you might hear people say dataset, semantic model, or data model. Please don't let the corporate jargon confuse you. These are literally all just different terms for the exact same backend structure. Regardless of what Microsoft decides to call it this year, the concepts and logic we've covered today remain completely unchanged.
We've covered a whole lot of ground today, turning absolute chaos into clear, logical structure. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Will you shoot for the stars, build a snowflake, or explore a galaxy in your next project? Take the